It's the return of the real, and yo, it don't get no realer. If you don't recognize, well, people come get familiar. Cause Miss Chynna's in the building, yes, the queen is here. You know she got that recipe to kick that flavor in your ear. Living in a world with more problems than solutions. It's nice to know someone instead of clear up all the confusion. Tune in to Power 504 Radio and feel free to comment live throughout the whole show. Or call 504-205-5422. Cause you know Chynna's looking forward to hearing from you. No subject gets off limits when we sit down and run it. We all got 99 problems, but we gon' keep it 100. Miss Chynna's a fighter, a warrior, a soldier. If you fall, she pick you up and brush the dirt off your shoulders. Lay back in your recliner, we go deeper than the minor. Nothing sweeter, nothing finer than chopping it up with Chynna, homie. Whoa, the queen is here. They want her to disappear, but she ain't going nowhere. If you feel some type of way, well, that's too bad. About to chop it up with Chynna, homeboy. You mad?
4, 3.
Thank you for tuning in to Power 504 Radio, and you are chopping it up with Chynna, of course. And right now I have a special guest, Bishop.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm making it.
You're making it?
Yeah.
Okay, so as y'all can see behind me, we got some nice pieces and stuff behind us. But first off, let me let him tell a little bit about himself.
Well, I guess the first thing I can tell you is my name is Mac, Leon Bishop, that's my whole name, the third. And I come from Texas Southern University, is where I got my undergraduate degree at. Went on to get my master's degree at Houston Baptist University. A lot of my work is studied on urban culture, my culture, you know, celebrating the good with the bad and finding ways to take things that have fallen and give it new purpose. So, you know, usually around in the community we'll see houses that may have fallen down, burnt up or something like that, you know. And originally when I first started out, until a friend of mine that I met, you know, taught me a different way of approach. You know, I used to go to the retail stores and buy canvases and try to, you know, create a clean, you know, things like that. And, you know, I would do that also when I would run out of canvas, like, when I have to wait until I get more canvas. And my boy's like, man, what you doing? What you doing? You know, if you want to give it real meaning, if you want to give it real authenticity, if you really want to make it have a soul, give it some soul to have, let's go in the hood, let's go in the hood, let's go in the community, let's find something that's falling down and allow that to give birth to something new. His name was Julian Cowboy. And so what we would do is we would go around, you know, in the hood, look at houses that are falling down, old relics, you know, houses that burned up, and we would look for doors, window panes, and things like that, and we would start working on them, start painting on them, finding ways to do. So when you see material like this, just know that this came from an old junk pile in the hood or something that nobody really wanted to be bothered with, and I come along, I got it, cleaned it up, and I created things that are from our community that have fallen and that was looked at as ugly, but then I showed the true beauty that lies within it and brought it out to the surface. And so that's what I do. I like to celebrate things that are beautiful about it, because a lot of times you'll see people depict or communicate things that they say are ugly about it, but what you understand is, since we are the original people anyway, you know, you have to understand that all things, whatever beautiful or not, started with us. And so, but for the most part, all of it is beautiful, no matter what lens you're looking at it from. So in this case, I got into doing the musical themed art from a friend of mine who does a jazz festival every year. Aunt had breast cancer, and she passed from breast cancer, and they asked me to do a few pieces, you know, with a musical theme to celebrate her. And so I did a few pieces in donation to that, and got crazy feedback from it, and met some good people. And so they're like, you know what, you know, can you do more stuff, you know? And so from that point last year, I've done over 30 paintings that's attributed to the same culture, the same aspect, the same content, you know, uplifting, be it jazz, be it hip hop, be it soul, whatever the genre, understand the beauty of how we, like, just like I take paint and paint and put it on canvas and communicate, you know, those emotions, you know, and a performing artist does the same type of painting but with emotion and sound. And so I wanted to capture that experience between audience and performing artists in my work. So that's why you see broad, bold brushstrokes and color. And you'll see that in a lot of the paintings, when you see things like a microphone, a piano, or you see a horn or a trumpet, then you'll see the glass, because that's the royalty. That's where the jewels are created. Because we can take nothing and we can make it the most valuable thing in the world.
So how long does it take for you to create like a piece normally? I know it's probably depending on the size.
Yeah, depending on the size and depending on the process, because usually I like to do a wash over it once I clean it and get all of the grime off it. Sometimes I leave the grime on there, but I allow it to dry and set, and then I'll prime it, just to make sure to create a seal between the paint and the surface. And then I'll put a wash over it. That might take a day or so, for that. If I'm gonna do a good wash, then it might take a day or so for it to dry. And then it creates all of these textures that you see underneath when I paint on it.
Okay.
So you'll see right here, you see the variation, the tone and the texture, that's coming from underneath, the little splashes of paint here and here. And so once I do that, then I come back over the top of it, and then I'll do a quick sketch. After I do a sketch, then I come back again and I'll paint a second and a third layer over the top of it, which will be the image that you see here. And the first start out as a basic layer, simple colors, sometimes dark, sometimes light. And then I'll build on those dark colors with more and more highlight to bring it out. And usually what I'll do is, as I work on it, I'll step back and I'll look through the lens of a camera.
Okay.
Because the cameras was telling me whether I've gone far enough. And if I look through the lens of the camera and I see lots of contrast and the dark feeding from the light and the proper aesthetics that's created, then I'll say, okay, this one photographs well, so if I hang it wherever I show it, if somebody takes a picture of it, they can appreciate it. And so that's what kind of tells me is I use the camera lens as pretty much as my gauge to let me know how much more work I need to do to make this painting worthy of showing.
Okay, so if they wanted to find you on social media or know more about your paintings or get in contact with you, how would they do that?
I usually show a lot of my processes and stuff as I'm working on projects and stuff. I'll post it on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is just plain and simply Mack, M-A-C-K, Bishop. And you can look that up on Facebook. And my Instagram page is Mack Leon Bishop _art. And you can find that on the Instagram handle. And usually, I'm posting work as I'm working on it. You can kind of see the finished product from start to finish. Just from a very rough draft of the material to me just doing a basic sketch on the surface of the material. And then you can kind of see, I take pictures as I'm working on it. So when I do my wash, sometimes I'll post that, and you'll see it from blank to the wash, to the rough painting on the surface, and then to the finished product. So, I like to, keep people involved in what it's going to turn in, and it kind of creates a lot of curiosity, because I want to see what you can do with that,
And how do you base the cost? Like, is it based off the size, the detail? How do you?
It's based off the size and the amount of work that I put into it.
Okay.
And usually you can tell how much work I put into it if you can touch it,
like
and you can feel, you can feel the paint rising up off the surface.
Right.
I put a great deal of labor into it, like this one here. If you rub your hands across it, you can see that there's a lot of texture and there's a lot of paint that's been created there.
Yeah.
And I also use an expensive gold ink that I buy, to put into it. So, I try to make it as authentic as I can. And so definitely the size, but more so the work that I put into it than the size. So a piece that's this size here would usually go for 15, but if I move this one out of the way, like one this size here, and if you look at one that's small, like the Dizzy Gillespie that I did back here, then this one will usually go for about 500. This one here. And it's kind of just the same thing, the same process. I like to create a lot of raw texture and emotion, just broad, bold brushstrokes, just to capture what a performing artist may be experiencing when they're engaging their music. because you know a lot of emotions go through a performing artist or an artist, period. You know, go through their minds when they're going through this journey of playing their music and feeling their music and composing their music and communicating that to the audience, because you know you're thinking about the struggles, you're thinking about this fight you done had, you know, in the family, or this loved one you lost. You're thinking about this, you know, this time someone, you know, robbed someone in your family. You know, it's a lot of different things, both good and bad, that are going through your mind. And you know, that's what gives the art so much intensity and so much meaning, is because we're taking those emotions and we're applying it to a creative platform. And that's, you know, what we need to communicate to our youth, because a lot of them, some understand it, but a lot of them don't. And say, until we understand and communicate to them that, you know, if you're going through struggles, if you have frustrations, this is how you can deal with it. You can take that negative and you can turn it into this, you know, the beauty, the diamond in the rough. You know, find a way to create beauty out of that chaos.
Well, I mean, you are very talented, and I mean, your work speaks for itself. And like I said, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again. You were on Power 504 Radio, and you were chopping it up with Chynna. And once again, this is Bishop. But
It's a pleasure.
all right, thank you.
Y'all be cool.
So when you